Big thanks to LitRPG Reads and Paul Bello, fine fellow, for giving us this awesome article to dive into. It's all about using AI to help create D&D characters. This reminds me of a campaign I was in a while back. My character was this brooding rogue with a mysterious past, and I was really struggling to come up with a backstory that felt unique and compelling. After like an hour of agonizing, I finally decided to just roll with it and let the story unfold organically. And you know what? It ended up being one of the most memorable characters I've ever played.
That's a great example of how sometimes the best stories emerge when we let go of our preconceived notions and embrace the unexpected. And it seems that AI tools like ChatGPT might be able to help us achieve that even more effectively. This article from LitRPG Reads, Customizing D&D Character Creation with ChatGPT AI, really digs into this idea.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. And it seems like everyone's talking about AI in D&D these days. But what I'm really curious about is, can AI truly enhance the creative process? Or is it just a gimmick? The article talks about ChatGPT being like a digital muse for character creation. I mean, Can AI really inspire us in the same way that, say, a piece of art or a beautiful sunset can?
That's a great question, and I think the answer is more nuanced than a simple yes or no. AI at its core is a tool. It's a way to process information and generate output based on patterns and data. But what makes it so fascinating in the context of creativity is that it can help us break free from our own limitations. Our brains are wired to think in certain ways, to rely on familiar tropes and archetypes. AI, on the other hand, doesn't have those same constraints. It can help us see things from a completely different perspective, to explore possibilities that we might never have considered on our own.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's not about AI replacing our creativity, but rather augmenting it, giving us a fresh set of eyes, so to speak.
Yeah.
But how does that actually play out in practice? The article mentions a bunch of different ways ChatGPT can be used for character creation. Let's dive into those a bit, shall we?
Absolutely. One of the most obvious ways is by helping us find inspiration. We've all been there, staring at a blank character sheet, trying to come up with something unique and interesting. AI tools like ChatGPT can be a great way to kickstart that brainstorming process. You can feed it prompts based on your desired race, class, or even specific themes or personality traits. And it can generate a ton of different ideas and variations that you might never have thought of on your own.
So for example, if I told ChatGPT I wanted to create a halfling bard who's obsessed with ancient prophecies and has a knack for getting into trouble, it could potentially spit out a bunch of cool ideas for their backstory, personality quirks, even their musical style.
Exactly. It could suggest things like, maybe this bard is a descendant of a long line of seers who were ostracized for their dire predictions. Or perhaps they stumbled upon a forbidden scroll that whispered cryptic warnings of an impending doom. And maybe their musical style is a unique blend of traditional halfling folk tunes with eerie, almost prophetic melodies that seem to foretell events before they happen.
That's awesome. It's like having a brainstorming partner who can tap into a vast database of knowledge and ideas. But it's not just about coming up with cool concepts.
Right. The article also talks about how AI can help with the more technical aspects of character creation, like stats and abilities.
Right, and this is where things get really interesting. Because ChatGPT doesn't just randomly assign stats. It can analyze the choices you've made for your character's race, class, and background, and suggest ability scores that are both balanced and thematically appropriate. So if I was creating a stealthy rogue, it wouldn't just dump all my points into dexterity. It might also suggest a higher intelligence score to reflect their cunning and ability to plan ahead. Or maybe even a bit of charisma to help them talk their way out of sticky situations.
Precisely. It's about creating a character that feels cohesive, where the stats and abilities actually reflect their personality and background. And what's even more impressive is that ChatGPT can suggest both standard and unconventional builds, catering to players who want to try something completely outside the box.
Okay, now this is where I start to see the real potential of AI. Because it's not just about making things easier or faster. It's about helping us explore new possibilities and create characters that are truly unique and memorable. The article also touches on the idea of using AI to create backstories and motivations. But we've all seen those generic backstories.
Right.
The orphaned hero seeking revenge, the chosen one destined for greatness. Can AI really help us go beyond those cliches?
It absolutely can. And this is where the digital muse aspect really comes into play. Because AI can analyze the themes and setting of your campaign and generate backstories that are deeply intertwined with the world itself. Instead of just coming up with a generic backstory, you can create a character whose past is directly connected to the major events and factions of the campaign, making them a truly integral part of the narrative. Imagine a character whose backstory isn't just a paragraph on their sheet, but a thread woven into the very fabric of the campaign world. That level of integration can make for some truly compelling role-playing opportunities.
Wow, that's a really cool way to think about it. It's not just about giving your character a past. It's about making them feel like they truly belong in the world. But what about those little details that really bring a character to life? Things like personality quirks, mannerisms, even their way of speaking. Can AI help with that too?
You bet. One of the things that surprised me when I was reading the article was how ChatGPT can even suggest specific details that add depth and nuance to your character. For example, it might suggest that your gruff dwarf warrior always speaks in riddles, or that your elven rogue has a nervous habit of twirling their daggers.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal stylist for your character,
Yeah.
helping you choose the perfect accessories to complete their look. It really elevates the whole role-playing experience. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine the fun you could have role-playing a character with those kinds of unique quirks.
Exactly. And these details aren't just for fun. They can actually impact the game in meaningful ways. A character with a fear of heights might hesitate before climbing a treacherous cliff, while a character who's known for their silver tongue might be able to persuade their way out of a tricky encounter.
This is blowing my mind. We're not just talking about creating characters who look good on paper. We're talking about creating characters who feel real, who have depth and complexity. But hold on a second. One of the things that always drew me to D&D was the freedom to create your own stuff, to go beyond the official rules and create something truly unique. Can AI help with that too?
Absolutely. Remember how we talked about AI breaking free from limitations? That applies to homebrewing as well. The article talks about how ChatGPT can be used to design new races, classes, spells, even magic items. It's like having a co-creator who can help you flesh out your ideas and make sure they're balanced and playable.
So I could literally create a race of sentient mushrooms who communicate through spores, or a class that specializes in brewing magical teas. And ChatGPT could help me figure out the mechanics and make sure those creations actually work within the game.
You got it. Imagine brainstorming with a partner who not only gets your creative vision, but also understands the intricate rules and systems of the game. AI can be that partner, helping you design homebrew content that feels both imaginative and well integrated into the existing D&D framework.
This is incredible. It seems like the possibilities are practically endless. But one thing that comes to mind is, how does all of this fit in with collaborating with your dungeon master and the rest of your party?
That's a crucial point. AI isn't meant to replace the collaborative aspect of tabletop RPGs. In fact, it can actually enhance it. Imagine using ChatGPT to brainstorm character concepts with your group, bouncing ideas off each other and refining them together. Or imagine presenting your DM with a detailed character backstory generated with the help of AI, sparking a conversation about how that character fits into the world and the overall campaign narrative.
That's a great point. It's like having a shared language, a way to communicate your creative vision in a way that everyone can understand and contribute to. It also sounds like AI could be a valuable tool for dungeon masters as well. Could you use it to generate NPCs, design dungeons, or even come up with plot hooks and storylines?
Absolutely. AI can be a game changer for DMs who are looking for fresh inspiration or need help fleshing out certain aspects of their campaign. Imagine using ChatGPT to generate a cast of memorable NPCs, each with their own unique personalities, motivations, and secrets. Or imagine using it to design a complex dungeon, complete with intricate traps, puzzles, and a rich backstory that ties into the overall lore of your world.
Wow, that's amazing. It sounds like AI could revolutionize the way we play and experience tabletop RPGs. But I'm also curious about the practical side of things. We've talked a lot about ChatGPT, but the article also mentions this LitRPG Adventures Workshop by Paul Bellow. Fine fellow, what's that all about?
From what I've gathered, the LitRPG Adventures Workshop is like a comprehensive toolkit for anyone who wants to take their world building and storytelling to the next level. Think of it as a digital writer's room packed with resources and generators designed to spark creativity and streamline the creative process.
So it's not just about character creation. It sounds like a whole ecosystem for tabletop RPGs.
Exactly. The workshop provides access to a vast library of existing tabletop RPG content, including lore maps and character archetypes. You can use these resources as inspiration for your own creations or even directly incorporate them into your games. It also includes over 30 generators for various aspects of world building, such as creating towns, factions, and even entire pantheons of gods. And if that's not enough, It even has a hex-based world builder for those who prefer a more visual approach to world building.
A hex-based world builder. That sounds pretty cool.
Mhm.
I can imagine spending hours just creating maps and populating them with all sorts of interesting locations and encounters.
Oh, absolutely. And the best part is that all of these tools are designed to work together seamlessly, allowing you to move from brainstorming to outlining to actual gameplay with incredible ease. You can generate a character concept using ChatGPT, flesh out their backstory and motivations with the help of the workshop's generators, and then seamlessly integrate them into your world using the hex-based map builder.
So it's like a one-stop shop for all your tabletop RPG needs.
Pretty much. And it's designed with collaboration in mind. You can share your creations with your gaming group, get feedback, and even co-create entire campaigns together using the workshop's shared workspace features. And from what I've heard, it's surprisingly affordable compared to other premium tabletop RPG tools on the market.
Okay, so we've got ChatGPT for brainstorming and generating ideas, and the LitRPG Adventures Workshop for fleshing those ideas out and integrating them into our games.
Yeah.
It sounds like a powerful combination.
I think so too. And it's exciting to think about how these tools can help us push the boundaries of tabletop RPGs and create even more immersive and engaging gaming experiences.
Speaking of immersive experiences,
Huh.
one of the things that the article kept emphasizing was how AI can help us create characters who feel more alive. What exactly does that mean?
I think it comes down to depth and nuance. AI can help us create characters who aren't just collections of stats and abilities, who have rich backstories, complex motivations, and unique personalities that shine through in every aspect of the game. They react to situations in believable ways. They make decisions that align with their values, and they evolve and grow over time, just like real people.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's like we're breathing life into these characters, making them feel like real people who exist beyond the confines of the game. So for all you tabletop RPG enthusiasts out there, the question is, would you use AI to help create your next character? Would you embrace this new era of digital muses and collaborative creation? Tell us what you think in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
This is just the beginning of a fascinating journey, and I'm eager to see where it takes us. Perhaps with the help of AI, we can unlock new levels of creativity and storytelling in tabletop RPGs.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and D&D character creation. Until next time, keep those dice rolling and those imaginations firing.